Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Citadelum. Now I know it looks like Citadelvm, but if you look at the Latin alphabet, there's no U, and the V is a U. Look it up, the more you know. Anyway, so this is a preview build, and the game will be releasing in 9 days' time as of the date and time of this recording, so preview build stuff is subject to change, yada 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 yada. This game is very reminiscent of Caesar 4, and thank goodness for that, because I've been having an itch to play Caesar 4 for a long time. It just hasn't worked in my computer for a very long time. There's community-generated content. You can create maps in this game and share it online via the Steam Workshop. I love that. There are various scenarios that you can play, and you can choose different difficulties, but there's also a sandbox mode, so you can kind of customize it there as well. There's easy, normal, hard in terms of building costs, housing needs, enemy raids, and battles. You can also toggle like fires on or off, and god things. Yeah, you have to appease gods in this game like you did in Caesar 4, kind of sort of by putting temples down so they don't get mad at you. At least if I remember right, it's been 20, 30 years since I played Caesar 4. But anyway, so what is this game about? Well, it's a Roman city builder, really. You start with the Forum. You put the forum down, and then you got to build an aqueduct because, you need water, and you put the mill in the water, you put the aqueduct down, and then the big reservoir, and then once an area has water, you can start putting buildings in there. You put mining buildings down, like iron mines and stone mines, so that your people can start mining out those resources, woodcutters. And the ultimate goal is to satisfy the housing that you're putting down. There's two types. There's the plebes, which are like the basic workers. And then you've got, the name escapes me, like the royals or whatever they're called, the patricians, there we go. They're the hooty-toities that, they demand a bit more, but they also pay taxes, which offset your loss, because you are going to start with a loss initially. But as you appease the people, whether it's the plebes or the patricians or both, you will level up and unlock more buildings. And that's how you progress in this game. So at first, all you need is, access to water in order to get from a plebe house from level 1 to level 2. But then from there, you start looking at city attractiveness. This building needs, the plebe level 2 needs like 10% attractiveness and this. And then level 3 needs this, this, and this. But the higher level it goes, the better the building gets, and the more people will move in. There's also an exploration mechanic. I played the prologue sandbox, and it was helpful. There was no guidance in the prologue sandbox, but you could totally do that. Instead of playing the prologue mission, you can do the prologue sandbox. I love that. But there's exploration via an explorer. You can move armies around your map. You can even take a look at the different gods that are in the game and see how happy they are. You have to build a temple for each one, and on occasion either sacrifice pigs or humans to them, as well as maybe do feasts or whatever to appease them, because if any of them get into the red, they may come down and start destroying buildings. They'll do bad stuff to you. That's assuming that you've got that mechanic toggled on if you're playing sandbox mode. But if they're on the green end and you keep them happy, you can call in favors or blessings or whatever, and they will do good things for you. This is very much one of those adjacency games where you have to think about placement. It's a big puzzle, because this fire station building can only get to this area, and this engineering building can only access this area. Like, there's a radius that it covers, so you really have to think about town placement. And I think this is going to be one of those games where there's going to be some kind of meta where if you lay out your building or your city this way, this is the most efficient way to do it. And I have a feeling it's going to happen. I don't care. I'm not that hardcore. I'm just saying there are efficient ways to lay out your little mini city there so that everything's covered and you don't need duplicates of buildings. But luckily, I played on the easier setting, and it was a breeze, and I really enjoyed that. You'll be assigning workers to buildings. They start with one worker, but you can assign more to those buildings, typically up to 4 workers, to increase the yield. So at first, this farm may only be producing, so much, whatever it is, cabbage. But if you assign 3 more workers to it, it'll just quadruple the amount that you're typically getting. So that's really cool. And then, like I said, there's an economy in terms of money. You know, you have to pay maintenance costs and the like, but that's offset by taxes. Typically, you have to build a tax building. If you've played Caesar 4 or any of the Caesar games, you will be able to jump into this without. I didn't play the tutorial at all. I did not. I did not play the tutorial at all. And I figured it out because of my knowledge of Caesar. The Caesar 4 in particular. I spent countless hours playing that game. It's not as cumbersome either, which is fantastic. You can even move buildings. Like you can click on a building and click on the move button, and you can move that building around, which is really nice. So as far as the military side of it, you can build walls, you can put like a barracks down, you can train defensive troops, which you can assign to towers, and then you can also build like archers and other legionnaires and stuff like that to roam the map. And you can like trade with towns that you find with your explorer, but you can also make war as well. So that aspect of it I'm not as familiar with. I've been focusing more on the economic side of it, but there are scenarios that are more military based, and eventually I'll get to those. But I do have my military ready just in case it does happen in my current playthrough. And like what you're looking at now was roughly like, I want to say 2 hours in, and keeping in mind, I didn't know what I was doing when I first got in there. But it was fun because like it became a city puzzle. Like that, I'm at level 6 now with this plebe house. Now they want bread. Now I got to increase my bread yields, but now it becomes like a logistical nightmare, so to speak. So I really didn't have any complaints about this game while I was playing it. It was, again, I was playing on an easier setting, so that wasn't as bad, but I really enjoyed it. I recommend this. If you're a Caesar fan, like Caesar 4, Caesar 3, whatever, you're going to like this game, I think. I think you're going to get a big kick out of it, especially since the Caesar games just don't typically work on newer computers anymore. They're just so old. We needed a Caesar 5, and I think this is the game that is as close to it as I've seen in my travels. So there you go, folks. Citadelum, it's definitely a recommend for me. I don't know what the price is, though, so I can't comment on that either way, but it's definitely something I will keep playing. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.